Today on episode 64, our Henry Blanco episode of Typical Chicago Fans, we have Sinkers and Floaters, a spring training check-in, the maddening madhouse, a Bulls and Hawks update, last dash, March opens up for college hoops, and TCF rewrites the rules. Let's roll.
Hello and welcome to episode 64 of Typical Chicago Fans. It has been a while, Boomy.
It has, man. This feels good. We've made a couple trips over here or to the cave.
Yes.
But we had all the intentions on recording an episode.
Haven't. It's been a while. Boomy's been busy with coaching, and it's just been a busy season for him. And we've just been doing a lot of the daily show. There really hasn't been much going on either with sports, so we've been kind of not wanting to throw a podcast together and that. But you know what? Tonight we are going to do a podcast. If you are a fan of the morning show, this is going to replace the morning show.
If you haven't watched the morning show, what are you doing? That's all of our content right now.
Speaking of that, go to the YouTube page, type in Typical Chicago Fans, subscribe to the YouTube page. That's where we put all of our morning shows and our Typical Chicago Fan podcast. This podcast will be on our YouTube page. Like I said, this will replace our Monday morning show most likely, unless for some reason me and Matt think to do it in the next few hours here. But most likely this will be a replacement for that. Also, if you want to listen to this podcast, go to the Apple Store, type in Typical Chicago Fans, or Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast from. If you're on Apple, subscribe, rate, review. Leave us a 5-star rating if you would like, please. And on Spotify, follow us on there and give us a review. And then if you get your podcast from anywhere else, like I said, just type in Typical Chicago Fans. You'll find us on there. Do what you got to do. If you want to follow Boomy, at Boomy TCF on Twitter. I am Zach Lilia at ZLilja, LILJATCF on Twitter. Main page is at typical_Chicago. Instagram, Facebook, just type in Typical Chicago Fans. Boomy, how have you been?
Been busy.
I know, with basketball and everything, you've been busy, but you're into baseball. You volunteer?
Volunteer assistant, so it's a little bit more laid back, not running the show, so just kind of a helping hand and coach first base. So that's basically
you said
responsibility.
You were maybe not gonna go into morning practice, but then you realize you just gotta take care of the guys doing the armbands. Make sure they're
I think
doing
that's
them right.
my job tomorrow.
And if you know what the armbands are for pitchers, it's kind of hard to do it wrong, I would say. So you're going to be up there to help them out. But Boomy will be nice enough.
It's my favorite time of the year as a volunteer assistant because I'm getting to know the kids, right? I don't coach in Mendota for basketball, so I don't know these kids extremely well. Obviously, I know the returners.
And your dad helps, right?
Exactly.
So that's nice for you to, even though you volunteer, it's nice little family time because this will be, I'm guessing, his last year coaching.
Well, as of now, it's his last year.
That's what I mean. I don't know if he's going to quit coaching along with teaching or retire, as I said.
As of now, that's the plan, but we'll see. So it'll be good, though. It gets me
next year around this time wanting to go volunteer, maybe like what you're doing.
Exactly. You can have my job.
Yeah, maybe you guys will switch.
No. There's no need for that.
Maybe you'll switch.
I'm pretty comfortable in my volunteer spot.
But like I said, we're going to get back into maybe the normal, maybe once a week, at least every 2 weeks.
Especially with March Madness.
Week and a half. We'll how about this? For the next week, the next month or 2 months, we'll at least get a podcast out every single week.
Yes.
Like, so we need to update the Cubs. The Cubs are coming up here hot. White Sox are coming in hot on their season. We got March Madness. Unfortunately, we'll get more into it with the Bulls and Hawks, but those seasons are pretty much over. Yeah. They got to play the rest of the games, but it doesn't really matter.
Do we have to?
It doesn't really matter. And like you said, the Bears news, you never know what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
We'll get more in.
We promise within the next 10 days we will have a live show. Everybody's been asking us.
Actually, we
promise it's coming.
It will most likely be next weekend.
Yep.
We have a little bit of a drawdown, and we have actually done a live show before the drawdown before, so maybe we'll be doing that. But yes, we'll be getting back to our live shows. We'll be getting back to the podcast, but just know this, if you want to find some content, we have plenty of it on our podcast and our YouTube of the morning shows. We do it Monday through Thursday. So about a month ago during football, we did about 5 to 6 shows a week. So if you want to go check that out, go on to there. But if you are a fan of the show, you know we usually start our shows out with a little sinkers and floater. Boomy, let's hear your sinker first.
All right, my sinker is durian. Have you ever had durian fruit?
No, but is it like dry fruit?
No, it's actually known as the garbage fruit. It smells like rotting garbage. It's a delicacy in a lot of Asian cultures.
Do you ever, by chance, watch the show Lowering the Bar with Jeff Vibert? They do.
Yes.
They try. Did they try
Yes,
that?
I believe they have had durian.
So
on
then I
there.
do know what you are talking about. It's like that one where it's like it almost looks like a muskmelon.
Yes, but it's gigantic.
Okay.
And it is disgusting. I've had it one time. My guy Tyler Selquist and I were in Chicago and we tried it. But it is
disgusting.
It is a disgusting, vile fruit, and apparently it's getting worse because there's an investigation going on in Honolulu, Hawaii, because some idiots have a affinity for this disgusting fruit, and they stole about $1,000 worth of it at a I think it's just like a market in Honolulu, and I can't imagine. Like, I know you steal enough stuff, it's worth money, but like you couldn't steal like the bananas or the strawberries or something that doesn't taste or smell like rotting garbage. Like, what are you doing?
You would think, but when you're going through that, maybe you don't care, or maybe it's a fruit you like.
And it is valuable too. Like, it is. I mean, because like you said, they're very big pieces.
Well, I'm guessing it may be hard to think, but people may like this fruit, so maybe they just want to have it. Maybe, like I say, it's maybe expensive.
Yeah, it's worth money. I think maybe we should do a taste test on durian sometime. Maybe.
Well, I think it may be hard for us to get.
No, it's not that. Like, they have it at. I know the place we had it was at a like Chinese restaurant in Chicago.
So maybe we'll have to try a little TCF. Try as well.
It's durian.
Durian.
Yeah,
okay.
it's disgusting.
My sinker is the XFL, and not in the fact that
Come on.
But my thing is, it's all right. It's football, but I don't know. I'm kind of fatigued on it. It's not really good football.
Yeah,
it's football, but like I think it was Landry Jones today had 3 interceptions in the first quarter. He turned it around. And then we got, like, the DC Defenders undefeated are losing to the Vipers, like
Mark Trestman led Vipers. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of that, some of these coaches, you got to play off the vibes of the coaches.
Yes.
If the coach has a vibe that maybe you should put him on camera, then put him on camera and have him call the plays. But we had Mark Trestman. Here we go.
Yeah.
This is
you guys improved today.
Can we run Spider 2? Why banana?
Okay, like every
come on, man.
boring businessman in a movie, they make him talk like
that's
the
him.
Third quarter. That is Mark Trestman. That's exactly what he says. The third quarter projections.
If you think of a coach in general,
that's
you don't
not
think of
it.
a guy who's just like you can barely like hear him. It's like he'd be one of those guys. I feel like Mark Trestman's the guy that you go, huh?
Yeah.
A few times when you're having a conversation, huh?
I just don't know
I can't hear
how
you.
they thought he was any bit relatable. He had such a bad tenure.
He's relatable, and like most of these guys have been fired from the NFL. He's been fired from the NFL.
Yeah,
too. That's why
point.
he's relatable. I think.
Valid point, but like he just
but that's a joke.
He's so boring. Like he's not going to connect with mid-20s professional football players. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. But I disagree with you, Zach, and I understand where you're coming from. I definitely understand the fatigue aspect of football, but in my opinion, and you know me, this is strange for me. I'm not the biggest football guy, but to me, any football is better than no football, and I think it's going to take time. We can't expect it to come out and be like the NFL is now, because we have gambling and we have fantasy football and we have
but it is nice
Madden and things like that.
They have the lines on there, the over-unders,
but it's going to take time. And
live numbers
exactly. And I was just talking to your brother-in-law about this. Like, they have to be willing to take a bit of a loss in the first couple of years.
Yeah, because it's one of those things that you could try to hype up the second time you've played or the third time you played each other. Like, it's not going to work. Like, you got to have a few years invested, and that's the thing is, like, you have to be able to have investors that are willing to take a hit
for a little while.
And I don't think that is the AAF.
Yeah,
they were not
willing to take that hit.
Ready to have the money to take a hit,
right? Because it was 2 weeks. We're not making money. We got to jump ship.
And everything.
But I think with the backing of Vince McMahon and the ties to the WWF or WWE or whatever it is, that I think they're in a good spot if they can just be willing to take a little bit of a hit, because I think it will grow. And I think you're going to see, guys like Johnny Manziel, or I'm not saying necessarily Johnny Manziel, but a guy like Johnny Manziel, a guy like Tim Tebow that was a big fan favorite. Because I guarantee you put Johnny Manziel on the field next week, people are going to tune in.
I can't tell if he's been offered something and turned down or not offered anything at all.
Well, he also would not fall under their personal behavior policy.
No, but
too.
I think they would Maybe. I don't know. You're right. He did get in some trouble. I don't think anything came about of it. But yeah, it is a thing where no one's allowed to have a record.
Yeah.
A previous record or anything. So we'll see how the XFL goes. Like I said, I'm not setting my alarm to watch the XFL every Saturday, Sunday
I'll watch
afternoon.
it if it's like today. I actually watched. I'm convincing myself I'm going to become a soccer guy. Not a soccer guy, but a little bit of a soccer guy this year.
Speaking of that,
yeah,
Sounders.
boo! Go Chicago Fire! They gave the Sounders a run.
They played each other.
The Fire were up 1-0 early. I actually watched a decent. I was flipping back between the Illinois-Indiana game, the Cubs game, which finally I got Marquee Network. Good job on the Cubs. I finally got that.
On DirecTV.
Yes, exactly. And then I was also flipping back to the Chicago Fire game, and they are a gritty group of fellas, man. There's a lot of tackling going on out there.
Yeah, a lot of it's not fake, but a lot of it's flopping.
Oh yeah,
falling down.
I definitely was like,
it gets to be frustrating sometimes.
Yes, there was one point after like 15 minutes. I'm like, okay, dude, you're not hurt. The one guy literally was on the ground like. And I know everybo's got a soccer story, right? I mean, this guy was on the ground, like, grabbing at his knee like he had just blown out every ligament. And then he gets up and he sprints to midfield. I'm like, what do you...
Like I said, I know you're a big fan of LeBron, but you got to think that one yesterday when he got nicked in the chin with the elbow, and it, like, barely hit his beard, and he just went flying. Like, that's just
that's, like, every play in soccer.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like that's frustrating.
In the NBA, you can handle it to a certain point. Like, you can, oh, yeah, that was a flop. We get it. We move on. Like, imagine that, every 3 minutes. Like, that's...
Well, that's why they have, I think, in soccer,
exciting.
They have, the refs have, an ear thing in there, and they're pretty much told, what's the calls and sometimes like that.
That's
because there's
cool.
got to be so much, you have to pay attention because there's so much flopping.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I got into it a little bit today, but yeah, I watched more MLS than I did XFL today, and I like the XFL.
My floater is baseball's back. We got baseball back. It's that time of year. It's beautiful. It's 50-something degrees out here today.
Yeah, it was like 59 today.
I'm actually planning on going to opening day.
I will be there as well.
No, opening day in Milwaukee.
Oh.
I've been invited by your brother to attend the game with him.
I don't like opening day.
I asked you. I don't even say that. You know how many times I brought it up to you? I said it's on a Thursday, and you go, I have school. I can't take it off. I've asked you. Don't give me that bullshit. But yeah, we will be going to the game. Even though Boomy was invited, and he said, no, I can't. I have school. It's because it's your brother's spring break is why he's going.
I think that might be the week I'm in Florida.
Yeah, I think it might be. I
don't know.
You're not invited now. You're
Good.
uninvited. But it's kind of cool though. They play in Milwaukee. It's nice and close, but it will not be canceled.
Yes.
Or anything. The weather-wise will not do.
And if it's even brisk, 60 out, you can tailgate and still not be ridiculous.
That's the nice thing about Miller Park is that you can tailgate out there. I'm hoping to see a lot of Cubby Blue out there. It'll be fun. But baseball is back. Spring training's back. It's just, especially with being a Chicago fan, Bulls and Hawks are pretty much done for on their season. So we pretty much have the Cubs and White Sox to look forward to, and it's right around the corner.
Yep.
It's March 1st when we are recording this. This month there will be regular season baseball.
Exactly. My floater, on the other hand, is Louisiana State University. Things are going well down there. They just won a national championship in football, and a young man by the name of Clayton Fleetwood had himself a hell of a weekend. He is a student at LSU. He's a frat bro, and he was charged Thursday with breaking into the college's under-construction football stadium and riding a four-wheeler around inside. So good for him having a damn good time. It does. That's what I was like. First, I'm like, this idiot, and then I'm like, a four-wheeler around a football stadium? That sounds kind of fun.
That sounds really fun.
So, I mean, he's living pretty high on the hog down there. So, but he was he's accused of entering Tiger Stadium late at night. He's actually done it twice now. And they say the 19-year-old and another unidentified suspect were captured on stadium security cameras driving around on a Kawasaki Mule, whipping it around the field. So shout out to these guys.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, what do you get? Criminal, trespassing. I mean, if they're not tearing anything up, just let them have a little fun.
I don't think that's what they're allowed to do, but that's what.
Oh, I guess never mind. They did make $8,000 worth of damages, so yeah, maybe.
Pay that back.
Yeah, come on, guys.
They'll pay it back. They'll pay it back in fines and stuff. But like I was saying with baseball, I see you got your Cubbies shirt on.
Of course.
The Cubs and White Sox are back in spring training. We're about 2 weeks into games going on.
A little bit, yeah.
I think Lester made his second start today of the spring training, so we're kind of getting in the motion of it. Kipnis made his first start today. Yeah, I think. I'm getting excited about the season. I know we did make a lot of changes, but it looks like Contreras had a great off season.
He just smoked someone down to second base today on a nice. I mean, it was a fastball. The guy swung and missed, and he just gunned the Crawford kid out by 5 steps.
It's nice to see. It's just nice to see just guys getting back into the flow of things. I know Javi kind of said at the end of last year they were kind of getting out of the rhythm of things in a way. Maybe they got the offseason to get back into it. Boomy, what are your thoughts kind of looking at it from afar? Only really and truthfully, until today, you got Marquee. We've been kind of seeing all the highlights on Twitter and stuff. What are your first thoughts on Cubs spring training?
Man, it's a rejuvenation almost, and you don't want to go like maybe that deep into it, but it may be a little bit of a refresh. Exactly.
Anytime you get a new coach, it's rejuvenating the team.
Absolutely.
Just what
and
it
I
is.
think, and people are going to complain about this, and obviously we need to wait for games to happen, but like I like the moves that they made in the bullpen. I like some of the guys that they picked up. So let's wait and kind of see where some things go. I'm feeling good. I like even the Jason Kipnis signing. It's a minor league signing. If it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. But
so he's on an invitation pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. But there's guys that have, Nico Horner's, gotten his time out there. It's just
Alberto Morris playing well.
Alberto Morris having a really nice spring.
But that's the thing that I finally, I'm not going to get like, you're not going to get worried about it in a way. But Alberto Morris had a lot of good spring trainings. Yeah. It seems like he always has a good spring training.
At least
and then
2 now. I mean,
and then kind of falls off at the beginning of the season, or pitchers start to throw stuff that he's not. Because I mean, pitchers are out there trying, but they're also out there trying different things.
Well, just for like a reference, like today, John Lester started, and there was 6 lefties in the Mariners lineup.
Yeah, they're just
and that would never happen in a regular season.
No, like they would not throw that many lefties against a lefty. And then like Darvish, he gave up a home run first pitch, pretty
Shocker.
much. But it's one of those things that doesn't matter. Like I think Lester the other day got maybe rocked for 3 or 4 runs. Like it's just spring training. You're working through things. I'm not going to get worried about the only one I'm kind of worried about is like an Adbert Alzolay.
I've seen that have a really tough
he came in, got
a young guy too.
He had 2 outs, ended up getting 2 guys on, and then giving up a 3-run homer. Kind of getting rocked the other day. With a John Lester or a Yu Darvish or like the guys
seasoned veterans,
guys who have gone through it understand that they're trying things. But a guy like Adbert is trying to get on the team.
Exactly.
He's not. He doesn't have. He has a set spot on this team yet.
In that same breath, John Lester, like when the games start mattering, is going to flip a switch and he'll be ready.
And
Yu Darvish, if he can
his performance either.
But in the same breath, like you said, they're working on things. Maybe John Lester's working on a grip. Maybe he's working on an arm placement.
Or new pitch that he's trying to go through.
Exactly. But when you see a guy like you said, like Adbert Alzolay or Dylan Maples or whoever the case may be,
they need to have a good spring. And Yu Darvish, he added 2 pitches last year throughout the season. I'm very excited for him to be the number 1 and just kind of try and go out there, like you said, the fuck you tour. And he, especially with I think that this whole Astros thing has really fired him up because it affected him almost the most out of anybody.
Oh, yeah.
I understand teams lost the World Series, but he lost his confidence in himself.
That cost him a year.
What happened in that World Series.
Right.
And that's just to think that was created because they cheated. Like to think back on it took him a year to get out of that rut.
People were just so ready to run him out of town.
Yeah, and all because he didn't get a chance to even try because he got cheated against.
Exactly.
That hopefully that creates a fire inside of him that will get him to the 20-win club this year. I think that he is going to be dominant, and I think if he would have played I would even say the last 3/4 of this season, the way he did the first. If he would have played his first quarter of the season like he did the last 3/4, then he would have, because he didn't start off hot, but he got going once that season going and kind of proved to Cubs fans that stop talking about my contract, first of all, because look at guys like Garrett Cole. Yeah. I understand Garrett Cole's gonna be a great pitcher, but there's not a single pitcher in the history of baseball that could live up to that contract.
Right.
That is so much money. Like I'm not even mad at it, but you can't. No one will ever be able to live up to a 9-year.
You
contract.
literally would have to go like 30-0 with a sub-1 ERA for someone to make that argument. Like it's just never going to happen.
It's unbelievable to think that. And he's going to be a good pitcher, and it will be worth the money because it'll all work out to the Yankees. But it's like if you want to look stat to stat, money to money, like that's not going to ever line up. And say Chris Bryant's everyone's kind of going through the motions of spring training right now.
Chris Bryant had a nice double today.
Yeah, getting going. It's just spring training. You got a whole another 3 weeks of spring training games.
Yeah.
They'll start ramping it up maybe a little bit and then kind of maybe bringing it back. We'll see. We don't know how David Ross is going to do it. But like I said, my initial thoughts on spring training is it's exciting, rejuvenated, and David Ross is finally back. First of all, he had the flu for the first 3 days, which is like everyone else in the world.
No kidding.
But White Sox.
5-3 right now?
5-3. I don't really care about the record because records don't really matter.
Right.
But it just looks like they're exciting. Like they're excited. Yeah. They're excited to be there. They're excited to be a team.
The Cubs' excitement comes from like a new coach and kind of a
because
fresh start. But the White Sox is like this is the beginning of it.
We got a division that we could go out and win.
Definitely.
The Twins will regress. There's no way that they're not going to regress. Where they had the most home runs.
In Major League history
last year.
Yes.
And then went into the first round and kind of proved who maybe they really were when they weren't playing a lot of division teams who kind of stunk last year. But I think that the White Sox have a real chance to win the division. I'm not going to say you're going to go out there, but it'll be fun. Opening day is going to be. It's not going to be. We're going to play some new guys out there. We are going to play some new, fresh guys, but try to win this damn thing.
Definitely, and it'll be interesting to see what they do with guys like Basabe and Madrigal and a couple of their younger guys
who have been playing very well.
Right. So I think they've got that excitement.
They have a good problem. They have a good problem.
Definitely. Andrew Vaughn has been starting at first base for him. I don't think you're going to see him much this year with Jose Abreu back, but they've got some nice pieces. I mean, Nomar Mazara, who's kind of feast or famine, but what are you going to do with guys like I said, like Madrigal and Basabe and Delmonico and things like that? So they at least have kind of that aspect going for them.
Yeah, and it's just excitement.
Oh,
right?
Definitely.
And even with the Cubs, like it's excitement, but it's also like we're kind of worried because we don't know what's going to happen. Our division it's going to be a good division across the board is what I think. I think the Pirates may be the team that kind of falls off the board there, but the Cardinals, Astros, Brewers, and Reds I think are going to be good teams.
Yes.
I'm not going to say that they're going to blow away with the division, but I think it's going to be a very competitive, all-around good division.
Yeah, you can expect like historically bad out of Pittsburgh. Do you see what their payroll is this year?
It's unbelievable.
It's like 43.
They finally got rid of Clint Hurdle though, so they finally did something right. They finally did something right there because he was. But it would have been nice. It would have been not nice, but it would have been fun to see him play against the Astros.
Yeah,
he would have hit every single batter until they kicked him out of the game. I think
I'd have been okay with watching that.
Like I said, I think that's going to happen a lot here.
Yep, absolutely.
But the Sox. Exciting.
Yeah, the spring of eternal hope,
Yeah, it's a lot of
it feels like we were back in 2014.
Yeah, expectations that haven't been there in a lot. They missed a decade of the playoffs, and they're starting the next decade out
starting off strong.
with a strong chance, at least.
Definitely.
I think they will. I'm going to go on the record here. I think they will win one this decade. I think not win a World Series, but they will go to the playoffs.
All right,
this decade.
Wait for you to come out on a ledge there,
White
Big
Sox
Z.
fans, you can never be mad at me ever again. I said you will win a division this decade or go to the playoffs. That's it. You're welcome.
That's very big of you.
Thank you. Anything else you want to talk about with baseball? Cubs, Sox, anything?
Man, we covered it.
The Astros. With the Astros, though, I'm excited to see what really happens once the regular season starts because you can hit people during spring training. It's not going to matter. It's not going to affect you. You probably got minor leaguers out there anyways that you could maybe throw out there to hit them in spring training.
It was fun to see Altuve get hit on the first pitch.
But it's one of those things. It's like once the regular season starts and it actually starts, you're going to get fined and like suspended and stuff.
That's
you're going to see what players are going to really come around and do because I don't think they will care at all about suspensions or fines. And I think there'll be a lot of guys who, younger guys, if they get fined, there'll be a lot of guys in that locker room that will pay that anyways.
There's going to be like GoFundMe pages for like some rookie that gets called up and just drills some ash. They're going to be like, oh, this kid made like $3,000 playing minor league baseball last year. Let's start a GoFundMe page to pay his fine.
A young guy for the Cubs.
I might donate to that.
A young pitcher for the Cubs ended up going in there. hitting a Astros pitcher and getting fined. Like a John Lester would probably pay for that fine. Or
we
something
could
like
definitely
that.
crowdsource it too. I would help pay for that.
But I really think that I'm not kidding. I think that
I agree.
The veterans will take care of like fines like that because if they're doing it, I think it'll be a full team effort. I don't think they're going because.
It's basically the Astros and Rob Manfred versus the world right now.
There's been steroids. There's been cheating in baseball with a little bit back in the day, and then Pete Rose. But there's never been this big a backlash against players against players.
Yeah,
this is the Astros against the rest of baseball, and the rest of baseball is not being quiet either. Even the guy who is one of the quietest and the best, Mike Trout, has come out and talked against the Astros.
I would love to see just 1 year. We just let Mike Trout know every pitch that's coming. I bet he hits over 500.
That's the thing. Like, what was it? That game against the Dodgers with Kershaw, he had like 40 something curveballs,
and they all were made contact on.
Were made contact.
Yep.
With. Like that's insane.
That doesn't happen. Clayton Kershaw, we can rag on him enough for like playoff stuff, but like he's still one of the best pitchers of his generation. He's not going to get that hit around. I understand
with steroids, it probably altered history, this and that. But Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds, they didn't go up there knowing what pitch was being thrown. They still had to keep their eye on the ball and know. And I understand the steroids era, they're all mad at people, this and that. But these guys went up there and knew exactly. They altered history more than anyone's ever altered history ever in baseball. Absolutely. Because they actually cheated. Like, I guess, what was it, the Black Sox, they threw the
games, but
that was back in the day. And I mean, that's cheating, though, too.
Right.
They use cameras at their own field. They use garbage cans. And you really look at it, and it's just like the coach got fired, the owner got fired, but right now they have got away with so much.
Oh, yeah.
So much. I mean,
Rob Manfred, his overnight made himself look like the clown of professional sports.
Yeah, Bud Selig went all the way through steroid era and never
liked Bud
bad.
Selig. I lost respect for Bud Selig when he decided the All-Star game was going to be a tie, and I just always thought he was kind of a pudwhack. And he was the Brewers owner.
He really got me with that tie.
He did. That pissed me off. I was like 12 years. Yeah, the All-Star game in 2001 in Milwaukee, they deemed it a tie.
Oh, I'm just saying now it matters.
No, I know, and then he made it matter.
It doesn't still matter.
It doesn't matter anymore.
Which is good.
Yeah, I agree.
Even though, if you really think about it, it helped the Cubs because then the Indians got home field. Even though they shouldn't have, they got to use Kyle Schwarber. He helped.
That's true.
Speaking of Kyle Schwarber, morale. Oh, actually, I think it'll be.
By the time this comes out, it'll be close.
But shout out to Dom Frederick, our guy Dom Frederick, and Kyle Schwarber collabed to donate money for, is it Neighborhood Heroes?
Yeah, Schwarber's
Neighborhood Heroes. I think over $5,000, maybe around $6,000.
Yeah, I think they're like 55 for 5,600.
But it closes tonight, so unfortunately, when this comes out, you won't be able to. But again, if it comes back around, which I think it will, you'll be able to donate some cool shirts, some cool sweatshirts, and stuff like that. But where were we at? I missed. I kind of got lost.
We were talking about the Astros.
Astros. Cheaters, and it will be a crazy season for them. We'll run through this real quick. Blackhawks.
Stink. Season's over.
I don't even care what either of the records are. The Blackhawks are out of the playoffs. At one point, they had lost like 7 of 8, and that's when the season was over. They won last night. It doesn't matter. I don't want to be this way, but it's over. It doesn't matter.
They're still 6 points behind a playoff spot.
Yeah, and there can't be many games left.
Well, in my records, they're 29 and 36. So,
and if you don't know this,
65.
Boomy factors in the overtime.
Overtime losses are losses.
Yeah, so that's why that's like that.
They have, so what did I say, 65 games, so they have 17 left.
Yeah, to make
they're not going to cover 6 points in 17 games.
It'd be unbelievable. And even if they did, it's just they're not built for the playoffs right now. They already gave up Gustafson. Is it Gustafson?
Yeah, Gustafson and Robin Leonard.
Robin Leonard, so that's pretty much giving up on the season right there. So Blackhawks, I mean, I don't really know. Will they get a good draft pick? I don't know how that really works.
They will. They'll get they'll be in the top 10.
At this point, it's just 1 year less of Tays and Kane just used up there. You're getting closer and closer to the end.
You hate to say wasting because obviously we didn't waste it. We got 3 titles out of it. But
no, I mean this year.
I agree. You're burning the candle that is Tays and Kane.
The rest of their career. I mean, they're getting closer to the end. I mean, they're not going to be playing hockey forever.
Exactly.
And a season where Kane started off really hot. Tays has played well throughout the season, but this team just couldn't come together. And we'll see where the front office goes from here. Stan Bowman, we'll see if he's still around next year. But
I think somebody is going to get fired. I don't know who.
Front office is getting fired. The Bulls. We had the All-Star break.
Remember there was a time when we thought they had a legit shot to make the playoffs?
Yeah,
remember how stupid we were?
Joakim, we had Luol Deng.
No, I'm talking this year.
Oh, this year?
To make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Remember when they were a half a game out of 8th place?
They're still 11th, but they're 10 games
I know, but at one point they were a half a game out of the 8th seed.
We were joking, but there was an actual chance. There was an actual chance they could have.
And that would happen in the last, that's been since Christmas. But they stink.
But it's gotten ugly for the Bulls. It's just nothing. It's not even fun to watch anymore. There's nothing. Kobe White's playing well. 3 straight 30-plus games, 100 points over those games.
Dude, is it just me or does it feel like it's like a train with no conductor?
Yeah.
There's
the conductor is Jim Boylan.
Or the conductor's drunk and been hit over the head with a 2x4.
Doesn't know how to call a timeout. Doesn't know what to do.
Can't keep his best player happy.
No. But that Zach LaVine, though, I think he was talking to the ref. I don't think that was to Jim Boylan. That one where he said...
But still, we're talking one of the how many incidences.
I'm only saying that because I think our last morning show, we did kind of say that we were going to talk about it.
Yeah.
But it ended up not being towards Jim Boylan, which it kind of did not really make sense why he would say that to Jim Boylan. But overall, they are not friends. They're not. No. He doesn't respect them. You can already tell. None of those guys really respect him.
I think Jim Boylan would be a great assistant coach on a Lakers team.
I'm also tired of seeing those stupid fucking videos of those people that yell at Jim Boylan.
Yeah, shut up.
Shut up, dude. You're in the crowd, and
you are literally proving nothing.
You're a loser. That person's a loser.
That's exactly.
I think that's just. I'm for heckling sometimes and being this that, but the guys out there,
you're a disgrace to the city. Shut up. You're a disgrace. Piss off, dude.
Yeah, dude. Go talk to Gar Foreman, John Paxson, people.
We rag on him because I don't think he's a good NBA coach, and honestly, he might be a very good X's and O's coach, but his ability to relate to kids in their 20s is just not there.
Good. And I don't like him, but I'm not gonna. If I saw him, I wouldn't go, "Hey, Jim, you're suck at
you're
coaching."
A disgrace to the city." Shut up, dude. Go, like you said, go say that to Gar Pax.
Even if you say that to Gar Pax, what is that?
You just make yourself look like an ass.
That's where you're taking it too far. Should be directed. He was hired, and he is being backed up by these guys.
Yep.
Well, he could be fired at any second. A lot of coaches are. We were talking about Beeline. Before he got fired within, what was that?
That was before the. Right? Well, you call a group of young black men a bunch of thugs, and
he got ran out of. They didn't like him in Cleveland. He had called they had the problems with the locker room.
Was what he said.
But it did seem like there was kind of a revolt before that, anyways.
Yeah.
They weren't. I think that there was. A dislike for him throughout the season, and
that was just kind of
that's on the Cavaliers
the tip
too,
of the
because
iceberg.
You got to understand, you're telling me you're going to go to Jim Beeline,
yeah,
and think that he's just going to relate to a bunch of NBA players, if
it's different in college because they have to do what he says.
If it is as bad as the players made it, you got to know by his personality, and you're going to just throw him into there with a bad situation, anyways, with not being very good,
right?
So Cleveland actually kind of playing a little better since he left.
Well, you knew that was going to happen. They were going to come out to prove that those guys wanted to prove, hey, this is not our fault.
Kevin Love, I didn't mean anything. I was just goofing around when I got mad.
Kevin Love's a stooge.
You were mad. You were mad. And guess what? You knew what was going to happen. You took all that money. Don't tell me what I'm mad.
He talks out of both sides of his mouth. He's full of shit. Yeah. I can't stand him.
Boomy, you got a little college basketball.
Yeah, man. We're getting close to an NCAA tournament, and we've got a chance to see at least one team from the state of Illinois. Illinois is
Illinois is pretty much in.
Pretty much a mortal lock. And I know this is being a homer bias, but NIU is first in the MAC West. They will go into because they obviously split East and West. They'll have a good chance to win the MAC tournament. They will most likely face a 2 or a 3 or a 4 seed, which obviously doesn't probably fare well. But also, Bradley's having a nice little year. Loyola, DePaul. I called this back in December.
They have fallen off bad, and your brother made fun of me yesterday because I did say that. I thought DePaul was better than Illinois. joke in a way, but also like if you looked at it, like they had some decent wins at the beginning, but they have fallen off.
They have
Are they 500 anymore?
No, they're like 12-14 right now.
That's what I'm saying.
And they have one conference win, I think.
Yeah, the
maybe
conference
two.
Really got to them. It's a good conference too, but
I mean it is. But in the same breath,
you got to win a few games.
Exactly. You want to be a quote unquote contender.
You got to beat a Butler.
You got to win more than one.
Like I saw
not even Butler's a good team. Like you got to beat like St. John's, who's not a good team.
I know, but you got to beat some of like the good teams too, like at DePaul or something.
And they did beat Butler, but
they played. Did they beat Butler?
Yeah, remember they beat Butler. That was their only conference win this year.
Really?
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that one of the best teams in the. That's crazy.
I'm pretty sure that
I saw them play St. John's at DePaul, and that got out of hand.
Let me check. I'm pretty sure that was like their.
They just can't keep up with the flow of the game. It seems like I don't know what it is about.
Well, they knew that, and that's why they fired Dave Lato like 5 years ago, and then they brought him back because they're dumb. Like he's not. I don't know. I
think the length gets to them. These.
And they do have talent. Like Charlie Moore is a stud.
Big East, those teams have a lot of big men.
Oh, I'm sorry. They're 14 and 15.
So
they are
500.
10th in the Big East. They beat Butler at home by 13.
Exactly what I said.
And then they beat Georgetown at home by 6. Other than that, they have lost every conference game, and they have Marquette and Providence to finish up the year.
So Illinois plays Illinois State this next. Do they play each other?
I don't think so. Illinois and Illinois State?
I don't know. I thought I had heard that the other day that they were playing each other.
Let me check their schedule. Illinois with a nice, impressive win today to get win number 20 on the year. They play Ohio State.
Oh, Ohio State is what I heard.
Who had a nice win over Michigan today.
Where's Illinois State? No, that would be kind of a cool crossover. It wouldn't be a blowout this year. Because
this year would be bad.
It's
but
pretty down in basketball.
I would love, and I obviously I'm not naive enough. Like if NIU played Illinois, Illinois would win.
Illinois.
Yeah, Illinois would win, but it would be a close game. I mean,
it would depend. It just depends on how the flow of the game goes. It's one of those
and
games
it also
could get way out of hand.
Yeah, and it would depend where it's at too.
I would have to say, you've seen them play. Do they have a person who could stop Kofi?
And I feel like that's where they would fall apart. Now, I do feel like they match up. Obviously, I think he's a great player. He's one of the top 20 players in the country in Ayo Dosunmu.
Yeah, that would be a tough
I think
matchup.
Eugene German and him. Eugene German's one of the fastest basketball players I've ever seen.
NIU and Illinois, you could always go guard for guard, but usually
if you don't have,
it gets different is when when you know a difference between like a big time
Kofi
D1
is a different monster.
and like the size of that. The big man, NIU could have a 7-foot big man, but he's not. I mean, Kofi is. He is
NIU
really
does have like a 6'8", 6'9" kid who transferred in from Rider.
It's just the competition he's also been playing against too. Like Big Ten has big men all over the conference. Right. So I think that's where it would really get tough. I think they would really.
I think Illinois would win by 10 plus, but I think Illinois would be Illinois State.
The only problem is, like I said, you'd also maybe get in some foul trouble with Kofi going down there and your big guys trying to get with him.
I knew what you meant.
Defend him.
I think Northern Illinois would give them the closest game of any other team in the state.
As of right now?
Maybe Loyola, maybe Bradley, but I think NIU and those two would give Illinois the best run.
I know DePaul's down, but I still think they've proven that
Charlie
they can
Moore,
win.
yeah. And they play in a good conference. You're right.
I think they should have like a little 6-team Illinois.
See, they do in the women's side.
Yeah,
they have I think it's called like the directional challenge. So like North plays South and East plays West, and then whoever wins plays the winner, and whoever loses plays the loser.
But in college basketball, the talent is so much different that maybe it wouldn't.
It would work if it was like Northern Illinois and Southern Illinois, Eastern and Western. You'd have to leave out
like Illinois, and maybe DePaul
and Northwestern,
or whatever. But you'd have to. Yeah,
and even though Northwestern's down, but you have to take into the years, like even a bad Northwestern team would compete with some of the mid majors we have in the state.
Do you think NIU could compete with Northwestern
this year? Yes.
Northwestern, but they're still got talent though. Like
they're playing in the Big Ten for a reason. Now, right now though, and I want to know your thoughts on this, and I think this is going to change because Baylor did lose. Right now, Joe Lunardi, who I'm not a huge fan of, has his number 1 seeds are Kansas.
Joey Brackett, you don't like Joey Brackett?
He comes in. I like him. I think some of the times his picks.
Think about it. His job is literally brackets.
I'm very jealous. I'm not saying that. But his number 1 seeds are Kansas, Baylor, Gonzaga, San Diego State. And then his 2 seeds, and they're going to change, obviously, because Baylor lost yesterday. Maryland also lost. He has them as a 2 seed. Florida State, Duke, and Dayton. And Duke also lost. So some of those are going to change. Does anything jump out on paper like that's the team I got to have in my Final Four?
I like Kansas.
You do?
I like Kansas a lot. I think their length and their athleticism is going to bode well.
Okay.
I like Gonzaga this year. I think they are
jumping on their bandwagon.
I like it this year. And I think it's one of those things every year you go, I love Gonzaga. They look like they're on fire going to the tournament. But it is true. They usually win their conference tournament. That usually turns into some momentum going in. And that's why you always would think to pick them is because they're most likely going to win their conference tournament and always have the momentum going into it. Which usually gives them the 1 or 2, usually the 1 seed in the tournament. So I'm excited for Kansas and Gonzaga. But before you tell me your picks, I think that, like I said, me and my brother-in-law were also talking about college basketball today and saying how there's so much storyline.
Yes.
So many storylines throughout this season.
Absolutely.
There is so much up in the air. There's not one. I can say Kansas and Gonzaga, but I'm not.
And they could also lose in the first weekend.
Yeah, they could lose in the first weekend, and you would be like, oh, okay, that's just gonna happen this year. There's so much parity throughout college basketball. There's not been Duke lost. Well, they've lost 2 or 3.
They've lost, I believe, 3 straight road games, conference road games.
And they were up 1 game by with double digits at one point and lost. It's just there's a lot going on, and it's one of these years you could maybe see maybe a double digit team get into the Final Four and maybe into the championship.
Yeah, man, I don't disagree with you one bit. I did like Maryland. What I saw last night and them getting kind of rocked by Michigan State. But you want to know one of the teams I like a lot to make a Final Four run is Florida State. They have some of the best size I have seen.
They always have good size there.
It's insane. They always seem to have 4 7-footers from Senegal or something. I like them a lot.
Depends on their shooting usually.
Absolutely. I think Dayton's going to be fun, but I don't foresee Dayton making a Final Four run. Call me crazy, but and I know you're not going to like this, and Matt's not going to like this, but I like Duke. I think they've hit a little bit of a tough stride, but it feels like the best Duke teams tend to do this. They go into a little bit of a slide in the conference.
But this is different, though. This is a slide that a lot of Duke teams have not gone. This is 3 straight road games.
Maybe 2 of the last 3 road games or something along those lines.
I would love to see Duke get knocked out first round this year and, I don't know, Coach K say he had the flu or something. I don't know. But I think this is a year where you could see Duke go out early. Or they could go to the championship game. It's always one of those things with Duke. They're the team that you forget. People forget how many times Duke has probably been knocked out first or second round. Yeah. And it just always flies because they always if you at least make the tournament almost every year, then you're gonna get a pass.
Right.
If you lose once in a while.
Absolutely.
So, I think it was 1 year since Coach K's coach there that he has not made the tournament, and I don't think he was coached because his back hurt.
Well, I know the first couple of years for him were tough because Duke apparently, obviously this wasn't in our lifetime. Yeah, in our lifetime, Duke has been dominant. I mean, you can talk back to the Christian Laettner days, but back when he took over, apparently Duke was the laughing stock of college basketball.
One day there's going to be a guy not named Coach K.
But his name's going to be John Shire.
Yeah, John Shire, most likely. Because like you said, you see 3-4 former players.
And you know who's making a nice little Big Ten run that I like making a little bit of a run is Iowa. Iowa's been sneaky
surprising. That's exactly what Patrick said today, too. He's like, Iowa is sneaky good.
Yes.
I think they play Illinois coming up here.
I think they finished the season with Illinois.
So that'll be a good test for them. And then, like I said, the tournament will be a good test for a lot of the Big Ten teams because you'll see a lot of teams are going to make the tournament, but you don't know where they'll be seeded. It's going to see who are the better teams
for sure.
With this tournament. I think this tournament will be it won't be a lot for because I think a lot of the Big Ten teams, if you're going to be in it, you're pretty much already in it. I don't think the tournament's going to matter for you. Maybe some of the lower ones, but it will matter for your seeding.
Right. Penn State right now is looking at a 4 seed.
Yeah,
most people forget Penn State has a basketball team.
There's probably 7 to 9 teams that could make the tournament.
Yeah,
and like I said, some of those 7 to 9 teams are going to probably depend on how they do in the tournament and the end of the year. But this Big Ten is dominant this year. It's fun to watch. We
It
watched
really
a lot of
is.
it this weekend. There's a lot of Big Ten games on today. It's just fun to watch. Like I said, Illinois beat Indiana by 1 in just a tough game. Indiana, this kid, I forget what the kid's name was. Couldn't miss a 3.
No.
Unbelievable. But you got
Another sneaky team I don't know if you watch much of. Oregon's having a nice little run out west. I think they're going to be – it's hard to say because, not a lot of people watch them, but I like what Dana Altman's doing out there. He's got a nice program, and he's running things well. I think they're going to make a nice little run too.
Anything else? College basketball. Like I said, we'll get more into it the next few weeks here.
It is going to be weird. No Syracuse, no North Carolina.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Sorry for
because they played each other yesterday, and I was like, when was the last time that Syracuse and North Carolina played each
no
other
one cared
in a game that neither of them were going to the NCAA tournament?
Where was it?
It was at the Carrier Dome because that's where Tom Brady was there.
You mean future Bear Tom Brady, right?
Whatever you got to tell yourself.
That was
buddy.
a little funny, though. Julian Edelman's like, he's coming back, and Brady was pretty much like, shut the fuck up, dude. I don't know what's going on, but I don't need you. And then I think Edelman kind of realized maybe I shouldn't have said anything. But it'll be interesting to see.
For sure.
With that, we'll get more into the NFL free agency when it comes to that time. But like I said, we'll get more into March Madness over the next few weeks. I think March 19th is the first day of March Madness. It's a Thursday is when it would be. Boomy is fact-checking me right now.
It looks like Selection Sunday is the 15th.
So, yeah, so then the 19th is when the real games will start. They'll have the play-in games.
Tuesday,
Wednesday before. But like I said, we'll be more, at least until March Madness, we will have a podcast every single week for the people.
Yep.
We promise that. So we'll get more into college basketball. Maybe we'll have our guy Kyle Haggerty on. We've had him on a few times on the morning show. So always check out the morning show for some college basketball updates on there. But like I said, me and Boomy is very into college basketball. And
it's so weird. I feel more into it this year, and I have watched less college basketball than I ever have.
I think it's also, like you said, one of those things you feel like it's more excitement because there's so many teams that
and it's so accessible now. Like I follow every team's like Twitter.
Like last night, I watched the Hawaii UC Riverside game on my laptop because if you just go to most teams' Twitter pages, they will post like what time the game starts, who they play, and then what station they play on, and then they'll usually give out like a link for like a computer that you can watch the game streaming. So you can pretty much watch. You don't have to be a degenerate like me to gamble on the game to watch it.
And if you follow the right people on Twitter, like I stay, tuned in just by following the right people and, listening to the right, podcasts and, different places that I get my media from. I really don't even have to watch games to understand what's going on,
Before we get into the rule changes, it's kind of funny to see, Zion's back because the Pelicans are on ESPN a lot now.
Yeah.
They were not on there a lot before he came back, but now that he's come back dominant, and it's cool to see. He's playing unbelievable. And he's going to be a great player. We are watching the Lakers-Pelicans game. We have heard that Pat McAfee did the starting lineup. We'll be able to check that out afterwards, but that's always exciting to see our guy, Pat McAfee. Before we get into that, speaking of Pat McAfee and announcing, did you see Tony Romo got $17 million a year to announce? He's making more than a lot of NFL quarterbacks are making. He's making $17 million to – I'm not saying he's not good. I like Tom Brady on the announcing. I've kind of come around to it.
Tom Brady?
Sorry, Tom Brady. Tony Romo, same thing, right?
Yeah, he's good, but is he $17 million good?
There has to be a reason why he got it. Like, there must be a revenue somewhere, like a stream of money. But that's so much.
That is insane.
Like, you could have faked the money and not let us know that he's actually making $17 million.
Insane.
Like, he's going to be critiqued so much now because they know how much he's actually making.
Right.
So if he messes anything up, like, I would just rather people not know that.
Right.
Like, if I'm an announcer, like, that's not what I would tell people. I'd be like, I make a few million, maybe.
Yeah.
But 17.
I love that he got an extension before Dak did.
But guess what? You know what? That's just. It's just like an NFL quarterback. It's gonna change the game.
Oh,
there's
100%.
gonna be. You know what I mean? People are gonna go out now and want more and more money because Tony Romo's getting 17.
If Tony can get 17, then
you know what I mean?
I can get.
You know what I mean?
20.
Stations around the world are like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. They're gonna give this guy 17 million. You know what I mean? Former athletes now are gonna want all this money and all that. Like, it's gonna change the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
He didn't change.
Good for him though. Get your money, man.
He didn't get his money in the NFL, really.
Yeah.
He did. He got quite a bit of money in the NFL. I shouldn't say that.
But
he
money
didn't get
to
the big
announce
payday.
is-
But now he's still getting that big payday. And guess what? He ain't getting hit by no linebacker anymore either.
Exactly.
He's sitting in the booth having $17 million
So
to announce. That's
much money.
crazy. But let's get into our TCF Rewrites the Rules. We had the NFL. They're trying to change the playoff format. They're trying to change the regular season format, 17 games, one less preseason game. One less preseason game is fine. I don't know if we need to add the extra game.
Preseason games suck anyway.
I like Chase Daniel and everything, but I had heard that he was trying to switch like Allen Robinson's mind on saying no to yes because you get more money, this and that, and they were playing in a Wild and Sylvie. It didn't really make sense what Chase Daniel was saying. I don't really think that I like the playoff format. I don't think that we need to add the extra game.
Yeah.
I think the extra game is a little much.
Well, the owners want. That's the one the owners won't let
understand
go
that,
of
but
because of the money.
Why do we need to throw these guys out there for one more game? Like it doesn't matter. Like it's not that it doesn't matter. It just doesn't need to be done. Like there's enough money there right now that like it shouldn't have to change it. But I do like the new, especially on a team like the Bears. They were talking about it. That would have saved Lovie Smith. I think Lovie Smith's team, when they were 10-6, would have made the playoffs that year if they had the extra team. So maybe he'd still be around. Who knows? And then also Major League Baseball is trying to add another team. I think that baseball is going to have the same problem as football. I think that the players are going to fight back on the CBA.
Yeah.
And I think that there could also be a strike in baseball.
I don't think we're going to see one in either.
I don't think we'll see one either, but I do think that we will see both sides not come to agreement.
And remember,
right away.
folks, when you're going to complain on social media, that if you take the owner's side, you are arguing for billionaires versus millionaires.
Yeah, like I have no sympathy for the owners.
None at all.
They're owners because they have billions and billions of dollars. I'm not going to, especially the NFL.
Yes.
The NFL is one of those sports you don't need more money. Why do you need one more game of? You know what? If you want to have one more game, then give me a local broadcast.
Yes.
That's all I want in football is a local broadcast.
Then make like the red zone and everybody gets it.
Yes, because I hate when you have announcers that you don't. That's why I love watching baseball. That's why I love watching basketball, because you get to know the announcers, and they're homers because that's what they're supposed to do.
Exactly.
And in football, you only can get that if you listen to the radio,
right? And
Joniak and Thayer, and you don't get that when you have Fox 32, some random guy doing it every week. Like, not random guy.
I know.
They're big time commentators, but even like with the Packers, they would have their own announcers.
Exactly.
Like that's just how I think it should be run. When there's that, but that's not how they make money.
Nope.
That's not how they make money.
It's the bottom line's always the dollar.
So after we go on a little rant there, Boomy, what is your one rule that you would like to change?
Man, we talked about the XFL, but I'm going to go to a different league and a different sport. I want to adapt the 4-point shot in the NBA like they have in the Big Three.
Yes, that would be fun. Yes. It would maybe piss some people off because there'd be a lot of bad
records.
It's a bad shot.
Yeah. They came to my mind because LeBron literally, in order to save they would get another possession by the end.
Oh, he
literally pulled up
right
from
away.
Like one step beyond
Who was
half
it?
court.
Zach LaVine was pulling up from the logo.
Yeah,
that's pretty much the 4-point line.
And people like old people or old school people be like, "Oh, that's a dumb shot. Like it's fun. It's exciting. Like." It's sports. Let's have
probably
fun.
what people said when the 3-point line was invented.
Yeah.
But I still think the 4-point line will never happen because of the records and stuff.
Yeah.
But
I'm a big fan of, and let's make dunks worth 1 point.
Yeah. Mine is, I think if you flop, that should be a yellow card. If the ref deems that you flopped in a way, that should be a yellow card.
I don't.
And
disagree.
maybe it is, but like
it's so hard to prove though.
I don't think it is. Like some of that stuff is bad
right.
in soccer. Like in basketball, you only see half of it. Soccer is like it's unbelievable some of the flops they do. But like I say, it'd be hard to get the refs to call all of them. But if they do have the eyes in the sky.
Well, and then you go, well, if you call one, you got to call every single one. And then if a guy is actually hurt.
I think that's half the reason why some people don't want to watch is because of all the flops.
Yeah.
And like it gets to a point where you're just like, come on.
I also would take one. Maybe make the soccer field a little bit smaller and take a person off. I want to see more goals.
I don't mind that.
And you really want to get me into it? No games can end in a tie.
In
Ties
soccer?
don't exist.
Oh, well, yeah, that's what. But that would take away.
That's why I watch hockey now. I used to not like hockey when I was younger because games could end in a tie, and I hated it.
It is kind of dumb. Like, just do the shootout.
We're going to sit here for 3 hours and watch a game,
I guess you
and
go
then
to
no
overtime
one's
and then the shootout.
and then no one's going to win.
In a regular season, if it's tied at the end of regulation, just go straight to a shootout and get it done quickly.
I agree.
Like, you don't have to go through the 15-15 overtime. Just get it done.
Yeah, let's go. I want a winner and a loser.
So we're here changing the rules on
changing the
typical
world.
Chicago fans. Yeah, the world. Hopefully they listen to us.
Yeah, I'll send a strongly worded email.
Before we end this podcast, did you by chance watch the Wilder Fury fight? We haven't got into that yet.
I did not. I was going to come over here, and I think
I'm a big
something
boxing guy
came
now.
up.
I like boxing. I would say I like boxing over MMA just because I don't know.
I disagree.
I like UFC, but I don't know. I think boxing, there's something like just classic about boxing and the
don't get me wrong. I love boxing. I really do. But
I know, and
MMA
I
is
just
amazing.
I can't get into UFC. Even though I just bought the video game, I've been playing it.
Yeah.
I just can't get into it. And this may sound stupid, and I'm going to sound dumb, but I just don't like when they're all bloody and stuff, and people just keep going. It almost makes me sick.
Oh, see, I love that.
You're a psycho. That's
Yeah.
why. But like I said, I think that Wilder said it was because of the body armor. Wilder,
candy-ass
Fury
excuse,
literally
man.
got carried to the ring, so that was kind of cool.
That was pretty cool.
But the rematch,
That's going to
it'll
happen.
be interesting though. It'll see because Wilder seemed like he was not in it the whole time. Like he looked like he was backed up.
Now this will be the third fight between those two.
Wilder
right?
won the first. I think it was kind of Wilder won the first, but it was like a weird
It was a decision.
thing. Yeah.
Right?
And then Fury won by
TKO.
knockout. They threw the towel in.
Yeah.
And then he's already said the rematch. He's gone on that he would never give up like that. They throwing in the towel wouldn't be anything he would want to do.
Yeah, I lost a decent amount of money on Deontay Wilder.
Me too, Boomy. But
how's your gambling been going lately, man? It's been a while.
let's end the podcast now.
Mine, I have actually I've maybe placed 6 bets all the month of February, but I've been so busy, dude.
Yeah,
and I've talked about I've actually it sucks because I've lost almost all those bets and I bumped up the amount I was betting, so I've had a rough month. But I don't know, I like betting on games that I get to watch.
Quantity hasn't been as much. Yeah, this game I like to bet on the Pelican. Like I always look on Sports Action. You look and it says ESPN TNT. Like that's what the games look for because then you know you could watch them.
Exactly, and I know I think all the games I did bet on were games I knew I was going to be home for. And I'll put it on the background.
If I had NBA ticket or something like that, I would be in trouble because if I could watch.
I'm the same way with the center court for college basketball.
No, I would be in trouble with the gambling.
Yeah,
or even if I had if I could watch any college basketball game, that would be dangerous.
I would have no problem gambling on the Citadel versus VMI.
Well, I bet Pacific the other night.
Yeah, I've bet on Pacific a couple times. They're having a pretty good year.
They didn't last night.
No,
they did not last night. Let's just say that.
You also bet on the AHL game when we were at the Rockford Ice.
Yeah, that was cool. I did not know you could do that. But I can't bet on the XFL. I can't figure it out.
I bet all the overs in the first week, and I think I went 2-2. So and then after that, I bet the first 2 overs in the next week.
Was that your 4 of your 6 bets this month?
No, I probably 12 or 15, but it's been very, very small here and there.
Trying to break the chair over there?
Yeah, I lifted today. No big deal. I'm feeling pretty strong.
Oh, yeah. So you lifted today?
Actually, I didn't lift today. I lifted yesterday. I did cardio today.
But this has been episode 64 of Typical Chicago Fans. Like I said, we're going to get back into the flow of it. It's been, a month at least since we did a podcast?
Yeah, I was looking up. I couldn't even find the date. I just know it was episode 64. It's been a hot minute.
We're going to get back in the live shows.
Oh, it was when Kobe Bryant passed away.
So we're going to get back into the live shows. We're going to get back into the podcast. But we're always going to have the TCF morning shows out, except this morning. We're kind of replacing it with that. We got the schedules. And I think with our podcast, too, you're going to want to listen to this. What we would talk about on the morning show would pretty much be this. But tomorrow, Tuesday, there will be a new TCF morning show coming out. It usually comes out in the morning time on our YouTube. Type in Typical Chicago Fans, subscribe to the YouTube page. And then we also come out with it in podcast form, Apple, Spotify, Spreaker, wherever you get your podcast from. If you're on Apple, subscribe, rate, review. Typical Chicago Fans. If you're on Spotify, follow and review. And if you're anywhere else, just type in Typical Chicago Fans. Find us on there. Do what you got to do.
Yeah, make sure you follow me on Twitter at BoomyTCF. And the big one, the YouTube page, we're building everything up there. And when I get some free time, I'm going to attempt to edit some video. I know Zach's got a ton of stuff going on with all the stuff he does. So I'm going to try and edit some videos, maybe get...
we got Summer of Boomy is coming up here. We get...
Oh, yeah. And we never released a lot of our footage from last summer.
That too. But I also mean the Summer of Boomy is like, you're going to be trying to edit this summer. You're going to try doing some podcasts this summer. So... Boomy will be getting his voice out there by himself, maybe a little bit, but I'll always be there, helping hand, always the helping hand, because I
don't have 911 on my phone. I have Zach Lilia's phone number.
And you wouldn't think you would need that for much, other than maybe editing and if you need some beer or something. But other than that, but thank you for always the supporters of the TCF Morning Show. And if you're a typical Chicago fan, podcast listener, we're sorry that we took a little bit of time off here, but we're back. We're going to be doing it at least every week.
And if you like the show, you're going to like the Daily Show.
Yeah, if you're going to like the Daily... So we got Matt and P-Goy on there. We sometimes Mitch on there. And those are always guys that are just like us.
Yeah. And it's basically this in a condensed daily version. That's really all it is.
Yeah, so if you want to check that out. And also, if you like the podcast, thank you so much. We'll be doing more of that too. But again, thank you listening, watching to Typical Chicago Fans, episode 64. We love you all.
Peace.